What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to go over the trades that we took today inside the Discord, as well as the game plan going into tomorrow. So this is what we looked like off of open today on the 30-minute chart for SPY. Very weird start to the week with the premiums here. Like the 690 calls and the 680 puts is what we're going to be watching for the weekend. These premiums are super dead. I mean, these are at like 30 cents a piece, so who knows how well this chart is really going to help us going into tomorrow and Friday, because I'm only going to be trading tomorrow and then possibly Friday, depending on how the action is in the first 40 minutes of the market on Friday. So shorter week, but I was able to capitalize on a solid move to the downside today, and this was a move that was or a trade that's a little bit different than what you guys are used to seeing and what I'm used to taking. So before we get into that, again, we opened right at the 30-minute 50 on the call side. This is your major resistance point right here, and my chart is bugging out, but this is your major resistance point. This is your major resistance point here, and very weird chart. I mean, we rejected it and then kind of just chopped the rest of the day. So right now, market's neutral. There's no trend in the market, and if we flip to the other side, the premium, the 680 puts, obviously we're not crossed over there as well. So neutral market. There's no trend in the market since we're not crossed on the puts or the calls, and higher time frames obviously on the put side was just crossing negative. And we just chopped around today. So for entry wise, this is what we looked like on the 0DT chart. We had a gap up, and obviously we had this massive candle off the open. Obviously you're not going to be chasing this. I mean, this is not a cross you're going to be taking anyways, because we had a massive gap up here. At this point, you're just better off waiting for the reclaim of the 10 and the 50, or the 10 SMA at this point. Once we get the pull back to the 50, we never got it, so no long entry there. And then obviously we got this cross again of the 10, the 50, and this, I mean, it moves so quick you wouldn't have been able to get an entry on this. All these trades down in here, I mean, were just very explosive really quickly. Like this trade right up in here, reclaim the 10, we're already pretty far from the 10 SMA. So I didn't take any of these trades right up in here, but I did take a short, and this is a variation of the system a little bit. For like neutral markets, it's a lot easier to navigate. So this is going to be based on the fib levels on ES. So if we just pull up ES real quick, I'm not going to kind of go in depth on this yet. I've barely traded it like this, but this is what the trade was. So I guess it's ESH, right? Isn't it ESH I need? All right, so this is what the chart looked like, and this is what we had. So pretty much these fib levels are based on the Friday contracts. They pretty much tell you where to draw the fibs at. So pretty much the high of this level up in here, 69, 63, that was the last 30-minute high before we crossed negative of the last bull trend. And then same goes with the low you put on here, the last low that we had before we crossed negative on the put side on the bear trend. So that's pretty much how you draw the high and the low, and you can see how well respected these levels are. So what I did today, right off of the open, you can see we were right at this upper level here, at this, what percent, 78.6, that level right up in here off of open. So if we just zoom in on this, right off of open, you could have went short, and I actually took this retest of it. So when we got back up in here, this is where I went short at. I actually got in 955. I actually took NQ though. So today, if you traded ES, I mean, you probably would have been up, what, 23 to, okay, you wouldn't have even been up 20 points there. But on NQ, you were up over 100 points. So there's a big difference in how NQ and ES were moving. NQ, a lot weaker, ES, a lot stronger. So if we just pull up the NQ chart real quick, and I'm actually probably just going to switch this real quick to a different one just so I could reference the other chart easier, but let me pull this up real quick. But I obviously didn't get the best entry on NQ because we actually saw a massive dump on NQ right off the open. So if we look at NQ, you can see the chart looks very different versus ES and NQ. ES had that high made right off the open of the day, and then ES actually made a new high of day. So NQ a lot weaker. If you took this short right off open, you would have been up like a boatload of points. I mean, 780 to that's like 200 point, or what is that? 780 to yeah, it's like 150, 160 points off of that move. So I took this retest up in here. Obviously, on ES we came back to that pivot point, so NQ a little weaker. You would have been, you would have gotten the same entry as if you entered up in here. But yeah, I took this entry up in here, and that was the absolute top. I didn't call this out in the Discord because literally as I was typing it, while I was going short, we dropped like 15-20 points, and I just didn't feel like giving you guys a terrible entry on it. So we didn't really come back up to that area, and yeah, we saw this move down all the way up in here. That was about 627 from. That was over 130 points, and if you factor in this move up in here, 160 points, it's already a solid move. So this is where I end up trimming most off at, and once we started to bounce a little bit up in this area, I got out the rest that I had. So it was like a really good trade, really good day on that move. But obviously you could see the rest of the day was very, very choppy. We made absolutely no moves the rest of the day on NQ, and that was that. I mean, there was nothing else you could have done today. If we just look at the 0DTs again, rest of the day we didn't even move. Pulled the 5-minute here, so this is the 5-minute on the call side. You can see, I mean, we just did not move much the rest of the day. And going into tomorrow, going into Friday, you don't want to be sticking around. I mean, if you catch a good trade for the day, just pack it up. There's like no need to stick around. If you stick around, you're gonna end up giving those profits back if you are in profit, and if you're red, you're just gonna keep digging yourself a bigger hole. So going into tomorrow, going into Friday, I'm gonna be very picky with the trades. They gotta look really good for me to take them. And if it's a fib trade, I mean, I'll be sure to toss on some risk and see what happens, because the fib levels are really, really strong. ES unfortunately was just a lot stronger today, so we ended up breaking above it today. But who knows where we're gonna go going into tomorrow. Pretty much game plan for tomorrow. Just look for your 0DT cross. If we come to like a fib level, I'll probably end up trading it. I'm not sure if I'm going to buy this dip yet to this 69.18 level. Just going to have to see how we open up going into tomorrow. But your next line of resistance is that 100% level all the way up at 69.63. And yeah, if we got a dip all the way to 68.91, I mean, that'd probably be a good level to long off of. This level right here, we're going to have to see how we open up tomorrow and see kind of how the 30-minute chart looks. I mean, the 30-minute chart is just terrible. I mean, the 30-minute on the call side just looks awful. The premiums are super cheap, and yeah, I mean, just not a great look. Again, the 0DT chart is going to be more important tomorrow. Just look for a 0DT cross on either side, and that'll be pretty much what you'll be taking. When it comes to the fib levels, like I said, maybe I'll buy that dip at that 69. What was it? 13 or whatever I just said. I don't know how I forget that already. Yeah, the 69.23. That could be a level you could try. If we pull back into it, you could try a low risk trade. We almost hit it right here. We got within like a point. And you could have started scaling it if you wanted to, but I'm kind of looking more so for that direct tap of the level for me to take it. So yeah, if we get a tap of that level, just put like a 10-point stop, and yeah, you could have your stop loss at like 13, and that'll be that. So that's probably what I'm gonna be looking for tomorrow. And that's pretty much all I got. If you guys enjoyed, drop a sub. If you guys want to learn, join the Discord down below. That's where I'm at all day, every day, and that's the place people want to learn. So that's all I got. I'm out. Peace.